everybody, welcome to another podcast of the Footy Femme Fatale podcast. I am not joined by not one, but two hosts today. I'm gonna introduce them to you very shortly, so let's roll the intro.
Turn the volume on for a woman's football show. You're listening to Footy Femme Fatale, a women's football podcast.
All right, a women's football podcast, and we're joined today by two women, other than myself. So let me introduce them to you. First of all, we have Kyra, who you've seen.
Hi guys, I'm back. I've been here before and now I'm back again.
And now you're a real person.
I know, I'm real. I'm in real life, sitting on a chair with people.
Exactly. So now you're wearing the Chelsea shirt.
Yes, I
the
am.
New Chelsea shirt.
I just a great gift from our dear Tammy. I'm really excited to have the world's most expensive female footballer on the planet. Woo!
Yay!
On my back. Yeah.
Germa. And we're also joined with a new host. You have not seen her, but she was actually with us during a game against the US, I guess. Yes.
Yeah.
That was really fun. So yes, please welcome Aldona.
Hello, everyone.
So Aldona, let us know how do you know us, first of all?
Yeah.
Second of all, why are you joining our little podcast?
Yes, first of all, thanks for having me here. I'm happy to join you. And I used to work with two of you in the past. And I also led the Women's Empowerment Group. And that kind of sparked my issue in kind of equality, empowerment, and inclusion topics.
Yeah.
Good.
And we're lucky to have you with us.
Yeah.
With your expertise.
Thank you.
All right, so let's just move on then to our first segment, which is Footy Matches of the Month. All right, so the Footy Matches of the Month. Last month, we had the semi-finals of the UEFA Women's Champions League, and we had two winners. One was Barcelona, who won against, Kyra, Chelsea, 4-1, and home and away 4-1. So yeah, that just shows how dominant still Barcelona is.
Incredibly dominant.
So again, they're in the final. They won the last two editions already. So let's see if they can make it a third. Back to back. The other final, though, semi-final, was Arsenal versus Lyon. I was actually there in Lyon, and I saw Lyon lose. But I do have some exciting footage of Arsenal winning the match and eventually going to the final. So I'll leave that video here. There, I don't know, somewhere in this video where you can see the players exploding of joy that they made it to the final. So yeah, that's why we have our Arsenal and Lyon shirt. Arsenal and Barcelona shirt over there. Actually, there's a lot of end of the season recaps that I want to mention, but that's gonna be a whole other podcast. So if you want to listen or see those matches, please listen to the previous episode, which I'll talk about all of those matches. So let's just focus on other things like the Femme Fatale of the month.
Drum roll.
So our Femme Fatale of the month is someone I want to highlight. In one of our previous episodes, I did mention the whole campaign around cancer, and we actually have one player called Grohs, or I think officially she's called Maria, from Austria, if I'm correct, maybe not, I'm not sure, sorry about that, but she is the goalkeeper of Bayern Munich, and she had to go into treatment in November 2024 because she actually had a tumor in her neck. So this was very intense and aggressive, obviously. So yeah, and now she is back, and she actually played in the quarterfinal against Lyon and stopped a penalty when she came back, literally the first time when she got back on the pitch. So that's amazing to see.
Yeah.
And she stopped the penalty of Lindsay Heaps, formerly known as Lindsay Horan. So yeah, speaking of Bayern, just quickly mentioning, they won the league this year, and they also won the cup final, so they have the double. So yeah, well done to them. Let's go to our next topic, which is the spotlight story. The spotlight story. So we just want to discuss, this is why we have two lovely guests today, or hosts, whatever you want to call it, because we want to highlight the equity versus equality situation, you call it a situation, in women's football compared to the men. So first of all, before we dive into that, what is equity and what is equality? So I had to look this up, but here we go. So equity, or do I start with equality? I'm not sure. So equality, here we go, is if everyone has the same resources and opportunities. So that's equality, like everyone is the same. But then equity is when you recognize that people have different circumstances and they allocate the exact resources / opportunities to reach an equal outcome. So in normal terms, you're the native speaker. So
in normal terms,
yes.
no, I think you've explained it correctly. Equality is just equality of
everything is the same.
yeah,
everything is...
And equity would relate more to finance as well. That's a large factor of it.
Yeah,
I
so
believe.
just recognizing the
Yeah.
different circumstances.
Yeah.
So when we look at men's versus women's football, we think about salary is the biggest
Usually,
one, obviously. But facilities also. The fact that not all leagues have the VAR, which is a weird thing, right? So
Indeed,
that's basically what we want to discuss, and we have different topics around that. Did you want to start?
So maybe we can start with we'd like to talk about the coaching gender gap. Just today I was talking to Tammy, and it came as a massive shock to know that even in the women's game, where you'd think they'd have women coaching, managing, as we see, we still have inequality in the salary, in which male coaches and male trainers are still earning more than women coaches and women trainers in the women's league. And we're talking like the WSL, so this is the top tier of women's football. How is that happening? How is it possible? Because we see so many discussions about the inequality in the game, and WSL, for example, have been on top of that. How on earth? I don't know. How is it happening? Why is it the case that male coaches are earning more? I don't know.
I think it's across all the industries still the problem of gender gap. So I think it's just reflecting how the things are still are, and that things don't progress and change that quick. And I think another thing here is also there are still many more male coaches than women coaches, even in women football, right? So
that's a good point. Yeah.
True.
You still see way more men in the. That's interesting. So then, how are they getting the opportunities as well is another question to ask, more so than the women's.
I think it's very similar also, when we talk about facilities, when, if a boy goes to play football, they can start at a very young age, and then they progress, like there's facilities for them every year, the years they get older. I think it's probably similar for trainers or coaches to be, that they get the same opportunities as well. I don't really see maybe I'm wrong, maybe not. But like women being a coach is probably later in their career, or they've been an ex-player, or
that's so true. Yeah, often in their 40s or 50s, we see it a lot.
Do you think this is like aftermath of the fact that there was still more male in the football? So just because do you think in the future there's a possibility to, just because we're going to have more women clubs, so more women football players, are they going to give the opportunities to become coaches?
So
I still think what you said at the top, when you said that we still see this very old-fashioned mentality in all industries, I still think that this could be an ongoing battle. So I don't want to say I'm not hopeful, but I do see a tradition even in the women's game, which by the way isn't new. It's been women's football has been around a long time. It's just it's getting more sponsorship, more money, more recognition now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you agree, Tammy, or do you think that?
I mean, so I just wanted to highlight Michelle Kang.
Oh yes, yeah,
which we were just talking about.
Yeah.
So she is investing in women's football, specifically women's football. She's a very rich person. I don't know what she does exactly. So she invested in Olympique Lyon, but then also the London Lionesses, London City Lionesses, and they won their league. So they're actually promoted. So, and that's a women-only club. So, you know, with most clubs, the ones that we're wearing, there's a male section and there's a female section.
Yeah.
And she's actually investing in a club that's purely female section. There's also going to be a club here from Amsterdam called Hera.
Oh, cool.
It's also going to be only female.
Wow.
So, you know, there is people that actually think ahead. Like, okay, if we want to make the same opportunities happen, so equity, we have to start with our facilities and investing in there instead of like investing later on or somewhere else. So I'm not sure how we got to this topic, but
just on that point, do you think there's more power in starting a grassroots club from scratch just for women than we've seen with all of these clubs just being, I don't want to say an offshot or a side addition, it does feel that way when you see, like I used to see Arsenal FC women. I mean, it's just Arsenal women, but women, you know.
No, I do think it's more because it brings it more to focus, right? Because same as like Real Madrid, for instance, that vice president has said so many wrong things about their own female team. We don't need to invest. Oh, you don't have to play on this grass. Just win a cup first, or win this first, or blah blah blah. Yeah. You know, so it really is. It's nice to see a club that's just for the women because it totally brings the focus back to the sport and not, you know, the others. Anyway.
Definitely, no, very interesting.
So we have more topics about all of more diversity, equity, and inclusion sessions, but I just wanted to show you two.
Oh, yes.
You know, there's many ways that you can support a football club. You can go to the stadium like we did. You can buy a ticket. You can just go there. Or you can watch it on TV. Usually, most women's leagues are free. Like the WSL is free on YouTube. Yeah. If you want to watch Champions League, it's free on DAZN. But you can also buy merch. So by merch, I mean, you know, you can buy a scarf, you can buy a t-shirt or a jersey.
I feel I need to buy a t-shirt.
Yeah, I think you need to buy a shirt. And just to support. So one big difference that I do want to highlight, I do notice with men's football, you see people are behind a team, right? So if they're for Man United, they're all only for Man United. They will never be for City. Yeah. Those are rivals. But with women, it's more for the individual players. So regardless of where they're playing, you're just going to root for them, right? So that means they can switch from Man United to Man City because they, you know, it's fine, especially with women's football. So that means you want to buy that jersey of your favorite player, right? So you've seen me wearing a lot of jerseys and I have a lot of experiences, and I just wanted to show these two ladies how that process is actually going. Bear with me because I also have to record my screen to see what we're doing. So I'll start with... Hello, Tammy from the future here doing the editing of this podcast. I just realized if you're actually listening to this as a podcast, this section might not be as useful as you think. So you have to look at the video either in Spotify itself or on YouTube, because then you can see what the websites are that we're looking at. So enjoy. We're doing. So I'll start with the beautiful KNVB. So this is the KNVB shop. So one thing to know before we move further into this website, the Dutch national teams, the men one and the female one, have different crests. Yeah. So the men are called the Leeuwen, so the male lions, and then the females are the Oranje Leeuwin, which is the female lionesses. So there is a difference. So this is if I'm not sure if you could, I'll just zoom in. So this is the male one, which has the bigger, the hair. I don't know the English words for that. The manes. I obviously want to buy the female one. So let me just show you how to buy it for the male one first. Show me.
I only see male one on the landing page.
Yeah, that too.
Yes, same. So they actually have a bunch of names already. So I want to support Virgil van Dijk. So I want Virgil on the back of my shirt. Yeah, all of these options, great. But if your name is not there, you can just click on this shirt. Maybe not this one. This one, I guess. Yeah. And it says here, bedrukken, which means I want to have a name on it. Then you can see, pick your own name, or you want to do a player. If you want to do player, then you can pick all these men. Easy. All right. Let's go back to the home button, where there's no female, as you can see. But here it is, vrouwen, meaning females. This is their old shirt.
Oh.
Not updated picture.
Very updated. If you click on the vrouwen, you have the away shirt, the home shirt, and that's it.
Oh.
So
it's quite limited.
Yeah.
So okay, let's say, yeah.
Something else has gone wrong here.
But this is definitely the women's shirt. So if I click on this, you see the crest is different.
Yeah, it's less mane and less tail.
But as you can see here, there's no bedrukken anywhere.
No, it's just the size.
Yep. So maybe you're like, but maybe
there's
it's the
nothing
different
actually op vooruit, which means available, right?
Yeah. And no bedrukken either. So I don't know how people get the shirts of the players, because I don't.
Oh, they're also on discount.
Yeah, I mean, this is because of the end of this season, I guess.
I would hope so, maybe.
But yeah, no, there's no bedrukken here either. So this is very bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one.
And this is one of the top national women's teams in the world, right?
It is.
It is. Top 10 at least, and
top 10. Yeah.
And the website is just not established for women's shirts.
Nope. Okay, so moving on.
Gosh.
Let's see. Okay, so let's go to the world champions then.
Okay, number one.
Okay.
First of all, this is their home. This.
Okay.
Wow.
Aitana my tea, which makes sense. World leading.
Nice.
And they have an away kit for ahead of the Euros.
Okay.
So let's
that looks
say
promising.
this does look promising.
They're working ahead. Yeah.
I want a shirt,
Very
and then here my Spanish is not great, but it does say I want a female name.
Oh yes.
And then I want Bon Mati on it. Aitana, boom,
Easy.
and then I can order it.
And
boom.
Size. Great.
Okay.
Perfect.
So yes, Spain, great.
So it's doable.
It is. You can do it. Let's move to England.
Yes, let's do it.
Boom. There we go. This is the homepage.
Okay. We have some women football players.
Okay, great. This looks good. This looks good, right?
Yeah.
Shop now. Let's see.
Let's go shopping.
Okay, so this is all like training material, but I want the jersey. So I have to find it. Kit. Home.
Oh yeah.
If I go here, this is all okay. I guess click on maybe here. Oh, this is not
Stadium.
You can. Oh, you can wait. Customize, but then it's the men for sure. Let's see. Yep.
Yeah. Only male players.
But then I did see this shop by player.
Yeah.
So let
Kyra Walsh.
let's do. But then this a poster. Okay, but if I do a man, maybe it's the same.
Where's Harry Kane?
Yeah,
that one. Let's see.
Oh,
He's one of the top players.
72 items.
Yeah, it's quite.
I mean,
we've got posters, and then we've got a whole.
Yeah, we have 2 posters and all the collection.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say Beth Mead.
Yeah, a top player. Okay. Well, we're getting somewhere.
It's something. It's not. It's not the jersey. So how can I get the jersey? Okay, maybe I can do it like this then.
Yeah, maybe under the women's selection. Yeah. Size. Okay,
no.
it says only.
Nope.
Interesting. I'm disappointed.
I mean, I'm sure you can do it somehow.
Oh,
but
okay.
I just don't know. No, it's the same. Is it? Only 5 left. Okay. So here you can see the difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, dear England. Okay, let's go to a positive one then again.
Yay!
France.
Okay.
Looks, it's the same way as the England one.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go to the kids' home. And then you have to scroll down because I know here it says women. No, wait.
Yeah. It says women's.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is the thing. So sometimes they mean the shape of the shirt.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, yeah. You mean the... okay.
I did see it here. Women's.
Okay.
And then customize. Whoppa.
Fantastic.
Player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Winnaar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is
Cool.
Le Sommaire. Yeah,
This
okay.
is nice.
This is, yeah, you can do a woman. Okay.
Fantastic.
All right, that was national teams.
Yeah.
What's your response so far before I move on to clubs?
Difficult. It started off difficult in the Netherlands.
Goed.
It feels like half done, half enthusiasm. Also, not really meeting the demand, because for a country that really supports, first of all, women's sports and then women's football, you'd think that they'd invest in at least setting up the official homepage. You know, so a bit shocked. I guess you Tammy as well as a national.
I mean, I've been trying to buy that new shirt, which is from 2024.
Yeah.
And I just can't. I'm like, no, I want a name on it. I just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So it's still, you can do it. You can do your own name and type it in. But then I get the men's crest. So it's like, what?
What's the point of having two then if you cannot even make like your own merch?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Why set the website up like that or have two teams if it's not done? Yeah. I'm curious if the women's team have seen this and what and their family members think about it.
Exactly.
You
like
know?
I can imagine there are more people that would like to have one like shirt like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just quickly do Chelsea, just so you see how it is. So I already had this open. This is a away shirt, or the third shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually do... Oh, wait. Yeah. Women. Where's Germa?
There she is.
Boom. Expensive, by the way.
160. Yeah, it is.
But yeah.
Goodness.
You are supporting. You're up to 50%.
Okay.
Very good. And the website seems up to date and detailed and user friendly.
Okay,
Nice.
so the last one I just want to show you. So this one.
Is this?
I have a Manchester United shirt. If Postonel is watching this, I didn't get it.
But
I did get it, but it was at my neighbor's. But it was, first of all, very much a trouble for me to get it in the first place, because I wanted to get a shirt of Dominique Janssen, who is a Dutch defender / midfielder who plays for United. So I figured, okay, I'm gonna find it here, right? Jerseys. Let's say I'll do a home kit this time. So this is for the women's team, blah, blah, blah. I'm not small. I'm not medium. I'm probably large. But anyway, customize. And then you can here say women's sprint.
Oh.
And then choose a player. Women.
Oh.
So Janssen is not there.
To be found.
Weird. Okay.
Oh.
And it's not, the list is just incomplete.
That's also interesting.
So I just wanted to show you this can also happen, even if you're like, oh, I can pick that, and then it's not there.
Exactly. Like we looked at the previous websites, but we didn't analyze it like from name to name. So maybe there's still some missing names.
Definitely, If we dig deeper, we'll probably see more faults, wouldn't we?
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, that's it on the shirt.
Maybe it's not worth mentioning, or the price differences are quite different per...
I mean, they're all on discount now, but...
end of season.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think ahead of the Euros, Nike... So Adidas already did it. That's what we saw on this one, which is the special collection for the Euros. Obviously, more money. But this is Adidas. So I think Nike will do the same also. Yep, Tammy again here from the editing room. And yes, it indeed happened. We recorded this episode a week ago. But of course, in between the days that I'm trying to edit this podcast, Nike did release a whole set of line for the Euros or ahead of the Euros. But just so you know, as a disclaimer, these websites were always like this. So even before the new kits were arriving, and hopefully we'll get to actually purchase a good shirt with our favorite player on it. These websites have always been set up like this. So it's not just because there's a new line now from Nike, but yeah, just so you're aware. Okay, enjoy. Also, ahead of so it's just the European that has the European blah 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 stuff on it. But let's see if that happens, because maybe that's why we can't buy. That's not the reason, but I just want to get a current shirt anyway.
Yeah,
but
I think that was a revelation. Thanks for sharing that, Tammy. Just for our listeners that can maybe be prepared if they want to buy a shirt.
If they want,
not a smooth experience.
And you have any experience like that, please share.
Yeah, definitely.
I should.
Yeah. So, earlier how we were talking about the difference between coaches and their salaries and male and female coaches. I think Aldona has something to tell us about players' salaries, don't you?
Oh yes. NOS actually released this article, and the research made by FIFA showed that women professional soccer player earns on average, guess how much?
I don't want to guess.
Too scared to guess.
Per year, right?
Per year.
I'm going to say €35, £40,000, something like that. 35 euros?
Is that even less on average? But okay. What about you, Tammy?
I'm too scared for that.
It's always scary, yeah. It's always scary.
Wait for it, is 10,000 euros per year.
Yeah, that's unlivable, really.
And I think 16 countries out of the 41 that was researched doing a bit better, and the average annual salary is like 22,000 euros. But this is still like the half of the like a minimum wage salary in Netherlands.
Yeah.
If you just have an office job like we,
Yeah.
you would make more than this.
And does this also include top clubs, right? Was it 16 clubs from the professional leagues?
Top clubs.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yes,
That's ridiculous.
it's the article later on says that players apply for some kind of expense allowances in their own countries. Tammy, do you know how it works in Netherlands?
So an expense allowance is basically any cost you make doing your job is covered for. So let's say you travel to the office, like you get that paid back. So it's only like those costs that you get paid back. So you might not even get enough out of it. You might just, need to, how do you say it, the break even.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So
I can't
really
believe that. I could not believe that reading that.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, if you want to play football on professional level, that's like 6 days a week of training and games.
And then throw in all the other competitions now. They're increasing women's competitions, so even more
my God.
than the average.
And
you can't.
Ridiculous.
And also it says that many of them have like a second job. Like, how can you combine that?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing. They have to have a second job, and this is...
And then you wonder with injuries and all the extra load they put on their body, then they're expected to play at the top tier league of football.
Like, how can you expect to reach the same professional level as men football when you don't even earn minimum wage salary?
Not even minimum wage.
No.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That's dark. Very dark. But enlightening. We wanted to share with you all. 10K.
Yeah, I actually would love to hear from a football player how actually they make a living with that less money.
That would be, would want to hear from them.
Right.
All right.
I think we're moving up to the flag is up.
Yay!
So, as you all know, the flag is up is our segment for the diversity, equity, and inclusion part, where we discuss topics that are either on-side, meaning they have a positive spin on it, or off-side, meaning they have a negative spin on it. So let's start positive, I guess.
Always.
So we have a couple of clubs teaming up with partners around your period. And now, if you're a male person, you're like, what? No, your period. So the menstrual cycle and the fun week that you have, that 1 month per month. And that's Arsenal and Manchester United. They've teamed up with Parcel and with Snugs for more awareness around the period. Cycle. That's not how you say it.
Menstrual cycle.
Menstrual cycle.
And period leaks. Let's call it period leaks.
Yeah.
Good shout.
And to destigmatize it is very important, I think, because
I clap to this. I mean, I think in the past there was some movements are changing the color of like women football shorts to darker. I think Manchester United did that.
True.
I think that was a good move. I think also welcomed by a lot of players, but I think making destigmatized period leaks, I think it's even a better move, because indeed, like all the other injuries, blood injuries on your legs, on your arms, are really welcome, and they're a sign of the sign of your brewery. Sorry, I used the wrong word, but just like it shows your courage and your dedication. But the woman of the menstruation on your clothing, till up to date, I think was a sign of shame. And it's great to change that.
Definitely,
It's also showing what you are currently dealing with. And,
it is part of you.
And I think playing, like high performing during your period must be very difficult. I think every female football player should be very proud of the fact that...
Very good point. Very good point. You're right. And I want to bring in, I think that maybe football are ahead in this sense, especially women's football, because in sports like in athletics, in sprint and long distance running, and also tennis, they just haven't been ahead with this. And there's also been a lot of shame, we were also talking about here, not just leaking and menstruation cycles, but also the cramps, right? The pain that women go through those moments. They're then expected to compete at this top league level of football. And I think, something like this partnership with Persil, I think it's doing a lot better than other sports. So good job, football.
Yay, football.
Yes.
But I think we also miss important event, and that Manchester City have launched a partnership with Snacks as their official period underwear.
Really?
Interesting. And I have to say, I saw the visuals on Instagram, and they look pretty good. I think it's a very empowerment message, especially sent to the younger girls.
Nice.
As I also dig a little bit in the topic, and because the article or the campaign said that like an extreme high rate of young girls is quitting sports when getting their first period.
Wow.
And guess how much it could be.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Again, scary to
like
guess.
Percentage.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say 30. Extreme high. 30,
exactly.
Hopeful.
It's probably like 70% or something.
Well, it's 50%, but 80, I think 84%. So more,
no way.
More than 4 in 5 teenage girls say that they lose interest in sport after getting their first period.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I used it as an excuse.
I was just thinking, but that's an example of people give up because of it so severe on the body at such a point in your life when you're deciding what you want to do career-wise.
And especially if you're young, then you still have so much, you can, anyway, yes, weird.
Shocking stat.
Yeah, it's shocking, and I really hope it's going to send this empowerment message that even on your period, you can still exercise, obviously to the limit of your own body, but...
for sure.
Yeah.
Great partnership. Good
Keep
job.
doing sports, girls.
Yes.
Right, speaking of the menstrual cycle, we've already talked about ACL injury like briefly, but we're actually going to dive deeper in this because the menstrual cycle might actually have an effect on the ACL injury. But first of all, what is ACL? What does it stand for? There's one native person here that can talk about that.
Anterior cruciate ligament. Yay. Not yay, but that's what it stands for. No, it's really severe. The most severe you can get, right? If you're playing football,
So it is a knee injury. And the recover time is like 9 months to a year. So there's a lot of top players that suffered from this, and some of them even have come out and said, I was on my period when this happened.
Oh wow.
There's a whole nice little documentary called Step by Step on YouTube that you can watch, where we look at Beth Mead and Vivian Miedema, who tore their ACL almost at the same time. So it's really good to see the progress and the amount of work they have to do to get back on the field. But now FIFA has finally acknowledged this, and they said we're going to do a 1-year-long study to see if the menstrual cycle is impacting an ACL injury.
Yeah, so I think it's great, and I think it's actually because you see this trend of like matching your exercises to your menstrual cycle. So I think it's great that there's more research put into that. And now in the relations to injury, this is great. But I hope also the training schemes will be much more personalized to your menstrual cycle, because in the men football you see that there's so much pressure put on their nutrition, on relax, on the right quality of the sleep. Usage of your of your power during the day and training days. I think we should also start looking at menstrual cycle and how can we match the exercise rhythm to it. And make the female players perform the best during the matches.
Good point.
That's really good.
Nice. We're moving on to another on-site thing. This is a guy, Ian Wright. He's he's on the on-side, but it's been a bit on the off-side.
So he's like on and off.
This is why he's kind of in the middle, let's say. So who is Ian Wright?
So Ian Wright, such a soft spot for him. So he's a legendary ex-Arsenal player. He played in the 90s. He played with Dennis Bergkamp, famous Dutch. Dennis Bergkamp, famous Dutch footballer. He's loved in the UK and mostly England because that's where he played all his football. But even more so since he's retired, he's like 60 now, because he's been sort of the face and sponsor for women's football in England primarily, and he just goes out of his way to support women, and whether it's presenters or coaches or the clubs, he's at all the matches, he brings his family, his social media is just all, and you'd think that he'd spend the rest of his career, of course, talking about his career and the men's game, but he knows that's already reached a level of height that's done, really. It's only ever going to be great. And he's also got nieces and nephews and grandchildren and granddaughters, and I think he's trying to send a message to them. But he did something amazing. Quietly, right? But it's not really quiet anymore because we've all found out. But he didn't intend for people to find out, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't have the name.
I also don't have the name.
Hold on.
We'll get the name. It's very important. But Ian Wright's quietly funded I want to say a WSL player's ACL rehab, and this was a Stoke City player. And she was unable to afford it because it's extensive. Also because of the 10k salary per year, probably. We should laugh, but they just don't have the funding, and you're also out of work at that point. So, and Ian Wright supported that. So kudos to him.
And also weird that the club is not paying.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a bittersweet story, because it's great what he's doing, but still that he has to do that because the club would not contribute.
Yeah. I'd love to know, I don't know if we have the information, is Stoke City the club that this player played for in the top league? Because I would have, if it might be the championship.
We should have ChatGPT open. No, just kidding.
I should have all the things up. But I'm guessing not, because they didn't fund, because Beth Mead and Vivian were funded, right?
Probably, yeah. At Arsenal at the time, Yeah, it's just... again, a great example of Ian Wright supporting the women's game. Yeah, and also recognizing that ACL is not something to joke about. So he is an advocate, but there was some backlash recently. Yes, there was. Okay, so quite controversial. So as I said, Ian Wright he's loved, he's a national treasure, but so there's Eni Aluko, who's also an ex female Arsenal player from the 90s,
who was the first female football presenter on ITV, which is a big broadcast channel in the UK. So she's been around for a really long time, but she recently came out and made a statement and said that she didn't immediately mention Ian Wright, but that there are people in certain positions that have taken the space for women to present or be a pundit, and then she said, for example, Ian Wright. Ooh. And then that just went crazy online, of course, because as I said, Ian Wright is adored, he's loved, he's been the vocal point of support for women's football. Yeah. Then Annie came out and said she didn't mean what she said and it came out all wrong. Ian has not accepted the apology. But the point remains, that this has been a really unfortunate thing, because in the end, Ian is a supporter of the women's game. And also, I have to be honest, I think that Annie and the women's game lost some fans with what she did. And it's not right, of course. But This is the sort of battle you play with the women's and men's game. You have someone that is supporting you. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think on that. I mean, are men supporters taking up the space of women pundits and presenters, you know?
I mean, there's always this like, you can't do right for it with everyone, first of all. So yeah. Probably for her point of view, yes, he is. But then at the same time, he fought for that place to be there, to be a seat at the table, right?
Good point. Yeah.
So
yeah, good point.
At some point, all of these, when I see analysts, like very old analysts, and they talk and all they do is complain, they're like, these people need to retire. There's no, like, you don't need those people, right? Yeah. That fortunately doesn't really happen with women's football. It's usually women just talking like positively. So that's great. But, and yeah, I think for her, she could have probably framed it a bit better and not mention him as an example.
Agreed, yeah.
But yeah. It is what it is. Unfortunately, we live in a culture where everything is taken really harshly immediately.
I think the backlash is definitely too extreme. I don't know if something like that would happen in a men's football world. If somebody would say something negative about just one person, I think there would be some echo about it. But would the supporters turn their backs? Yeah. I don't know.
That's a really good point. Do you think then that's an extra layer because he was in the men's game and he is this icon of men's football, that now women's football is sort of attacked because I think that the backlash just because of one player is just disappropriate. That's interesting. And I think to another layer to that point, if the listeners want to Google, Annie Aluko has also been in the news for other issues with another former a terrible person, I will say his name, Joey Barton, who is just very anti-women in football, full stop. So I would suggest that you research what he says. But him and Annie have had a long battle and discussion on this, and he is absolutely said some awful things that she shouldn't be commenting or punditing or anything like that. So I do think maybe Annie feels like she needs to defend because she has been being attacked for a while. But it's tricky. It's tricky.
Tricky business. And on our offsides segment, I just want to quickly mention the pitch conditions that these ladies play on.
Goodness me.
So there was the one in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. So the top of when we talk about women's football. Real Madrid versus Arsenal. Real Madrid did not play in the
Bernabeu.
That one, the fancy one.
Yeah, the most. Yeah.
They played on some other side hustle pitch against Arsenal. Arsenal actually complained about the pitch also because it was also raining, which made the pitch even more horrible. We'll put a little picture in the frame here so you can see how bad.
Awful. It looks awful. I cannot imagine. How can you broadcast something like that?
It's like exactly.
Big mud.
Exactly. And terrible. Someone even commented on Instagram. Guess who it was?
You right?
Yeah. Of course, it was Arsenal he was watching. But he was saying stuff like, "This is an outrage. This is disrespectful. We shouldn't be letting these girls play on these fields." So that was one. And then literally a few days later, there was the League Cup final in England. Chelsea versus Man City. That was actually the first match out of the 4 matches they did all after each other, where Chelsea won. And that pitch was also horrendous.
Go Chelsea. Oh. Do you remember? I don't know if you know the name of it. Wasn't obviously.
It was
Stamford
the Pride Park.
Oh, it's Pride
like
Park. So that's.
I think.
Okay.
I'll fact check. But yes,
that's interesting because that's the men's derby. It's a top championship team, but that means the stadium, the pitch isn't good enough.
So and then there's actually a whole study about maybe, or some medical people are saying maybe there should be different pitches for women to reduce the risk of injury.
Wow, this is
wow.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting topic.
Yeah. So we're really starting to look at the women's physique, injuries, menstruation.
Yeah.
Why is it they're getting more of the ACLs and
and facilities needs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even shoes. I'm not sure. I need to fact check this, but this is only in recent years that they discovered that women's feet are different than men's feet.
Oh, well, we could have done that.
Oh, no brainer.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So now they actually made the football shoes for women.
There was no football shoes for women before.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I have to fact check this. don't quote me on it. But it's not as long ago as you think it was.
Crazy because when you enter every page of every sports brand, there's clear division always, female and male kind of sports shoes, sneakers.
Yeah. I just think they didn't advance it because I guess maybe the women's game. Well, it wasn't at the league that it's at now, the level that it's at now, and maybe now they're like, oh, maybe they do need certain sort of shape type shoes for women.
And also probably the demand, if there was not much customers for them to buy the shoes, why bother to produce?
It is a cycle, isn't it?
It costs so much money to make different pairs. Yeah.
So break the cycle, buy the shoes, even if you don't play football. Okay, so last point in our offside section. This is very recent, also, and very negative for the LGBTQ plus community, unfortunately. There's a transgender ban, which started with the Scottish Federation Football Association. They basically said, we're going to ban transgender athletes from our field. So they're not allowed to play in these matches anymore. And then literally a week later, the FA, so the
Football Association, with the main association of football in the UK.
Did the same thing. So
shocking. So remind me, 30
athletes are infected. Are impacted by this. So why? Why?
No words. Thursday.
Yeah. Talk about targeting a minority for no reason. Like it's just. Yeah, again, left speechless. I think it's a very sad thing. I think for an association that holds themselves up with all the equality, all the parades, I'd like to call it now, and then to go ahead and do this, it's really shocking. And I don't know. I know it's fresh, but I wonder why more people aren't talking about it. I know we had the Dutch player that...
Yes.
You were going to mention
So
that.
Kirsten Kasperij, she actually, when the Scottish Football Association announced that, she had a transgender flag wristband, and she actually scored a goal. She's a defender, so the odds of that happening was minimal, but she did. And then she actually immediately kissed the wristband, saying, I'm with you, this is beyond football. Basically, that's what she was saying. This is an issue for everyone, not only in football. And then still the FA did it a few days later. So very interesting turn around there.
Yeah.
Do you think that marks some kind of end of the DEI policies in the clubs in Europe?
No, I mean, I can talk, for example, you mean also regarding to America, right, a little bit, and what's going on. Yeah, I feel you. I think, at least with Chelsea, they have American ownership, right? I think Todd Boehly is the owner. I haven't seen anything so far, but I think this is more coming out of Scotland, oh my God, what was it called? The Supreme Court decision, which has had ramifications in everything now, also in... safeguarding other areas, so not just sport. So I just think this is the trickle-down effect, and I think we're going to see it more. It's really, I think it's devastating to see that the FA followed up and said this. So do you think it's something we should keep an eye on going forward?
I mean, I'm just curious to see how this is going to develop
What
in
else?
other countries, or is it not, or are
Yeah.
people going to resent it, which I hope they do.
But that's a good point, because the FA is considered up there as ones to follow. Now, what will we see in, God forbid, Saudi Arabian women's football? They have a team.
Yeah.
That's just sort of begun, but then they see this. I mean, yeah. Fingers crossed.
And it's not even, we're not even talking about hundreds of people.
No,
it's
that's
literally
the
30
craziest
people in
thing.
there that
Well,
are now cannot play anymore. It's anyway.
Yeah, I'm just afraid that just because the number are not that big, they're just not. There will be enough support to support this group, and this is what scares me.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, that is scary.
We'll see. Okay, that was very depressing, but that was the offside side of the flag is up, which brings us to our final segment, which is the off-pitch antics. All right, so the off-pitch antics. I only have a few things, like manager updates. Or actually, I actually have 3, but I don't know if I know this guy's name by heart. So we have Joe Montemuro, who only did 1 season at top club Olympique Lyon, is actually moving on to to coach the Matildas, aka the Australian national team.
They got the top job. Oh,
did?
National captain manager. Not captain manager. Wow.
So yeah,
good
he's
job.
moving on. The Ajax coach, her name is
Hesterine de Rouse. I think Tammy will say it better.
Beautiful
The
pronunciation.
Dutchie will say it better.
Estherine de Reus.
Rouse.
We got it right.
She is also moving away as the head coach of the Ajax Vrouwen, so the women team. She actually was not really good in quoting. So there was like 4 matches left. There's like only 1 match left, I think, in this season. And they played against PSV, which is the other competitor for the championship or the league winners. And then when they lost against them, she basically said, "Yeah, we lost. We're not going to win the league."
Wow.
Now we know the Dutch are very direct.
Yeah,
That's very Dutch to me.
Just so you know, that's almost sounding normal. But Tammy, is that a bit
In this
much?
context, it wasn't really normal. A lot of Ajax fans were saying, "What are you saying? It's still to play for. It's not over yet." Unfortunately, it is over now. Two games later. But yeah, so that was not really handy. So that may have been a factor because she is known for doing quotes like this. She also said stuff like, "Oh, it's great that Ajax is not in the Champions League because now we have more time to prepare for the league matches."
To be honest, on the defense of that, I have heard other managers say that before.
Yeah,
it's tricky though. It's how you say it, because you also want to motivate your team.
Exactly.
You want to be like, "Oh, you're terrible.
Yeah.
We only have this left." It's all about how you say it.
Yeah.
But also, it's I think it's the reason why it was robbed in the wrong way is because Ajax was in the quarterfinal last year at the Champions League. So
that's
you know,
big deal. Yeah.
So is it a good thing? Anyway, she's leaving.
She's gone.
She gone. And then I had another coach, but I think his name is Verhing, who's going to be the new Dutch manager after Andries Jonker, after the Euros. And he is the assistant manager of Sarine Wiegman.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I know, that's why I'm telling you. I knew you were going to be
totally everywhere. Oh, nice. Really cool.
So, yeah.
So he's now been taken.
Yeah,
wow.
But he's still going to be with the Euros with England.
Perfect.
And then after
we'll
that,
keep him for that.
Yeah, he's going to do the Dutch national team.
Good job. Nice.
All right, so
Very good.
I think we're at the end.
Yeah. Next month.
This month.
Yeah.
Tammy,
what would you discuss?
Yeah, Tammy, you're heading off to the finals.
I am going to Lisbon to see and support either Barcelona, Arsenal. I still need to decide which shirt I'm gonna wear because I don't know. Every shirt I wear, they lose. So maybe I should wear the Barcelona.
Do you like one team more than the other? Just a little bit more?
I think I would root for Arsenal just purely because last year I was there, Barcelona versus Lyon, and Lyon lost. So I don't want to root for Barcelona.
Got it. Yeah.
Playing the odds, Barcelona's probably going to win. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe you should wear a Barcelona shirt.
I think I'm going to wear both, to be honest.
Yeah, I was thinking wear both and just get one off when one's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Or put another one with another goal. So.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Why
me.
not original? We want footage for the next episode.
I will.
Brilliant.
So speaking of which, so the Champions League final is this month, the 24th of May. Then after that, there's also before that, there's this little new tournament, Women's World Sevens football, which is also in Portugal. So now I'm thinking, maybe I should go there and then go to the Champions League.
You're already there, yeah.
It sounds like a plan, Tammy.
Yeah, I mean,
it sounds like a great holiday.
A football holiday,
Yeah.
that's for sure. So that's gonna happen, and I think that's it. May, and then we have what's after May? June.
Yeah.
Then July.
Then July is the
And then
Euros.
we're building up to the Euros. Not long left. Yeah.
So we'll do a special series around that where we're gonna preview all of the countries that are competing. I would love to have you two again as a guest or as a host.
We'd love to do that.
In person or online. But it was lovely talking to you too. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your input. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Tammy.
Pleasure,
Hostess
Tammy.
with the most guests.
And I'll see you all in Lisbon, okay?
Yeah.
All right, bye.